Market to Master is brought to you by 3D, New Generation, McCormick Spices, and Patron Gasol. Last year on Market to Master, I explored some of the most beautiful islands in the Philippines, where I was welcomed by the locals as they took me on breathtaking experiences of their cuisine. That crispy bagnet of vegan, that succulent lechon of Cebu, and my all-time favorite, Bicol Express of Legazpi. This season, I'm inviting you back to my kitchen to see me not only as a chef, but also as a husband and a father. I'll show you how fun and easy it is to prepare these dishes for your own family and friends. This is my food. This is my kitchen. This is Market to Master. As a chef, my schedule can really get hectic. So in the morning, I need a breakfast that'll keep me going for the rest of the day. Juicing vegetables and fruit like beetroot, carrots, and green apple, packed with antioxidants and fibers, give me all the energy I need. Juicing up assures that I get all my daily nutrients in one glass. For my source of carbohydrates and proteins, a toasted whole wheat bagel sandwich with bacon, scrambled eggs, and avocado will make me feel full for longer and mentally focused. This is my absolute breakfast, perfect for getting me started. Okay, so this is the beef shoulder. This is only about 2.5 kilos. It's not the most attractive piece of meat, but what it lacks in looks, it definitely makes up in flavor. It's not a steak that you can sort of cut and fry and then eat afterwards, because you will be chewing all day. It's very tough. So for us to make this a little bit more edible, we need to braise it. And by braising it, we have to cook it at a low temperature for a very long time, just to break down all of these really big muscle fibers. So if we braise this as it is now, when this is cooked, this is gonna be horribly overcooked. And when this is cooked, that's still gonna be raw. So we have to get this into a really nice, compact, solid bit of meat. And the way we do that is we tie it up. And then roll it over like this until the seam is underneath. And now that's gonna cook evenly, okay? And now, sort of tied up, we have butcher's string. We don't want to strangle the beef. We just want to sort of tie a knot in there just to hold it into shape. Now, we just cut off all of the little runaway bits like that. And now, because we've compacted it this way around, we just want to sort of get everything tucked in nicely lengthways. Just do exactly the same across here, like that. And again, runaway bits off. Put it in the tray, season it with salt and pepper, and then we're just gonna sear it. Okay, so now that our beef has been tied up It's now time to season it and sear it. Now this is a crucial part. We have to get a really nice brown color all the way around. If we do not get a brown color, we are not gonna get a really nice dark reddish color to our sauce. So the first thing we have to do now is get salt and pepper. Okay. Our pan is really nice and hot, so pick it up, place it on the seasoned side first. And that's exactly the sound you want to hear. Okay, so you see that color over there, really nice, dark brown. That's exactly the color we're after all the way around this beef. Now we do it on a 45-degree turn, and we can leave that and then go and get the vegetables cut, and we're gonna brown them also. Okay, so now that the beef is searing, it's gonna take roughly about 10 to 12 minutes. So that gives me enough time just to cut all my vegetables. Carrots, celery, leeks, and onion. We know it as mirepoix. That's the base for every soup, for every stock, for every sauce that you make. That can go into our bowl. Our leeks again, we'll trim off the ends. Okay, and then celery. You're probably going to need about 3 to 4 sticks of celery. So just pull it off. And again, exactly the same as the other vegetables. We're just gonna chop them nice and rustic, nice and big. Okay, so that beef is really nice and browned all over. That caramelization of the meat is going to give us so much flavor. And we're just going to pour all of that over. And now it's time to brown our vegetables. So exactly the same as how we did it with the meat, we also have to get the same color on our vegetables. And that is going to give us a nice, deep, dark color, right? Always get your pan really hot, smoking hot, and then put your vegetables in and keep them moving. That's gonna stop them from burning, and it's also gonna brown them all over. Okay, so now that the vegetables are really nice and brown all over, it's now time to put the garlic in. All of this goes in. Okay, so now the garlic's been cooking for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I can really smell the garlic come through. Now it's time to put everything else in. Now it's a couple of sprigs of rosemary. We don't want to put too much rosemary in. Rosemary is a very strong herb. We don't want anything to overpower the good quality and the flavor of the beef. So that can go in, and now it's time for our tomato paste. We're looking at quite a lot of tomato paste over here. We're probably looking at 2 or 3 big spoonfuls. Right, don't worry, it's not gonna taste of tomato. We still need to cook out the tomato flavors. We're then just gonna cook it out for another 5 minutes just to get rid of all that harsh tomato flavor. Okay, so now that the tomato paste has been cooking out, it's gone from a bright red color to almost like a dirty brown color because we've cooked out all of the tomato flavor, the harsh tomato flavor. There's so much flavor in there. Now the next flavor we're gonna add is red wine. And here I've got a really nice Merlot. You don't want anything too sharp like a Shiraz or a Cab. would do very, very well, okay? We're probably just gonna add about 3/4 of a bottle in here. Now, to get rid of all of the alcohol, we really need to reduce it down until it's about halfway. So at the moment it's up to there. We need it to go down to about there. And then we're guaranteed of all of the alcohol being cooked out. So we're just gonna stir that. Now you can see inside the pot, because of the browning of the vegetables, the browning of the tomato paste, we've really sort of taken our time with this. And now you can see the colors are really deep, dark, rich red color. And that's exactly what we want over here. Now we're just gonna reduce it by half, add our beef stock, and then we're almost there. The wine's been cooked out. I can smell there's no more alcohol. It's now time to add the beef stock into it. So this is beef stock I have in the freezer all of the time. Always when we do roast beef, I keep all the bones, I roast them, and I boil them for like 4 or 5 hours, and then I get this really nice beef stock. We're probably just gonna add about maybe a liter and a half inside there. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of Spanish paprika just to sort of give it a really nice smokiness. So while that's coming up to the boil, I'm just gonna take the beef and then get our tray. Right, so this is our cooking vessel. We are gonna cook or braise the beef in. We're just gonna lift this up gently, put it inside. All of these juices left in the tray for us, we're just gonna really add it into that. And all of this juices is all flavor. It's all the caramelized bits from the frying pan. So in that goes. And then we have this beautiful sauce. It's reduced down now. It's a little bit thick. It smells so deep and dark and rich, and that's exactly what we want. And as I'm pouring it, you can see the color. You can see how nice and thick that is. Okay, so that's gone about 3/4 of the way up, the beef. I'm gonna wrap it in tin foil, put it in the oven at about 110, 120 degrees. It'll probably take 5.5 hours, maybe 6 hours. By the time the wife and the kids get back, it will be really fork tender, really, really soft. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a quick Moroccan couscous before I go to work. Okay, so it's equal parts of couscous to water. That's how simple it is. And just to make the couscous not stick together, we just put maybe 2 teaspoons of olive oil in there, and then we just get a fork and we just work it around just to coat each of the grains of couscous in this olive oil. And that's gonna help it not stick together in a big lump, and it'll really make it nice and fluffy. Okay, so it was 2 cups of couscous and 2 cups of water. Okay. And now we just gently stir everything through. We don't want to go crazy. We just want to make sure everything's mixed in with the water. We now add just a little pinch of salt, stir that around, and we're not going to add any spices now. We just want the couscous grains to rehydrate, and then we'll add all our flavoring in. So now we just cover it in plastic wrap, and that's going to take maybe about 3-4 minutes to steam. Okay, make sure it's really nice and tight. No hot steam can escape. And we're gonna literally leave that for a couple of minutes. It's nice and warm. We'll leave it on the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna make a Moroccan type of couscous. I'm gonna use turmeric, I'm gonna use cinnamon, oregano, and Spanish paprika. I'm just gonna put that in, season it with salt and pepper, maybe looking at a teaspoon of each. Okay, so this couscous has been steaming now for about 4 or 5 minutes. And you can see all of the water has disappeared, and this is really sort of nice and fluffy. So now just run a fork through it just to break up all of the grains. And because we put the olive oil onto it, it's gonna break down very, very easily. Okay, so now we've broken up all of the granules. As you can see, it's really nice and fluffy. Now it's time to add our spices in. We seasoned it before, but let's just season it one more time. We've got the turmeric here. It's got really nice and yellow. As soon as I mix it in, you can see the change in color automatically. A little bit of cinnamon. We don't want it sweet. We just want a little flavor of cinnamon in there, like that. And then a little smokiness from the Spanish paprika. Remember, we added that to the beef as well. So this is gonna work really well together. Just a little bit of dried oregano. Make sure the flavor's incorporated through this whole bowl of couscous. And as soon as it hits that, the couscous is still warm. And as soon as I'm starting to fold it, I can smell all of the spices. I'm off to work. I'm from South Africa, a little fishing village, about an hour's drive outside of Cape Town. Growing up, I always had really good food in the house. My mom is a phenomenal cook. I think that's why me and my sister are both chefs. My sister's a really, really good chef. She started out as a pastry chef, but now she owns her own restaurant and it's back in Cape Town. And so I think my mom introducing us to really good food at a very young age has always really helped us understand food and know what good food is from bad food. I've never really eaten junk food just because the food at home was so good. My mom makes the best lasagna in the world. My wife and I met in London in a restaurant. I was the chef and she was a waitress. Cameron was just born and we decided, you know what, let's try a different adventure. And the reason we picked the Philippines is because we've been coming here for the last 3 years before we actually moved here. And there's a lot more exciting times to come food-wise here in the Philippines. I think good food always goes back to the producer. We grew up knowing our butcher, knowing our fishmonger, knowing the person who grows our vegetables, and I think that's very, very important. Us as chefs, we just create good meals out of good produce. Processed food has a place in society. It's lower cost, it's readily available, it's produced en masse, so it brings the price down a lot, and it does serve a purpose in life, definitely. I'm going, huh?
Thank you, man.
All right.
Take it easy, yeah?
See you soon, buddy.
Ciao.
See ya. Right, so all the staff's been briefed. The specials are on. Everyone knows exactly what they're doing. It's now time for me to hopefully get home and get there before the wife and the kids so I can get that braised beef shoulder ready for them. Hi, big guy. How are you? Hi.
Hi.
Hello, sunshine. You guys want to help me set The table, Cameron?
There we go. Oi. Nothing closer?
As a chef, work is very demanding and requires a lot of attention, which can take away from time with my family. Whenever I have the opportunity to spend time with them, I don't pass it up. Next week, I'll go spend a day with my son Cameron and take him to his football practice, prepare his favorite meals, and then finish the day with a movie and popcorn. To get the recipes from the show, check out my website, markettomaster.com. And if you want to see behind the scenes and latest updates, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Market to Master is brought to you by 3D, New Generation, McCormick Spices, and Patron Gasol.